Let's lead. Let's ride.
Unify leadership.
Light the flame, turn it up loud. Remember the name.
Unify leadership.
Power and pride. We don't just talk, we testify.
Unify leadership.
Heart and grind, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, croppers and rhythm, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, crowd on sway. Kosher clay, truth and play. Sifu, Rafael, calm control, leaders in sync. Hearts of gold, focus sharp, the mission clear. Every step forward, silence the fear. Discipline, dripping, confidence, how we move together, we amplify. Who we are,
Unify.
what we lead.
Unify.
Stand tall,
Unify.
every time.
Unify leadership.
Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar.
Leadership.
Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar.
Leadership.
Steady and true, the sound of the few that follow Lou.
Leadership.
Strong alive, this is the beat where leaders thrive.
Unify leadership.
Woo!
It's still knocking, man.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's still knocking, man. And that it's a special one, man. I love that intro, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think that one can be duplicated, man, because it just the beat. I'm a beatsmith, Sifu. So listening to that beat, man, I'm like, wow, that's
You're
pretty
an
dope,
idol,
man.
brother. You know that, right?
Yeah, man, that's I love it, man. That's one thing I know for sure, man. I had a old gentleman that hit me up a couple days ago. He basically was like, he said, I saw your post, Tio, and it was graffiti writing, and I forgot all about it, man. Him and I, we used to have a lot of conversations about this early in hip hop, New York City, called Style Wars. Style Wars, and it was basically about tagging the trains. Just that whole war, like it's a whole different level of hip hop, one of the different elements. But that was a big thing in New York City, man. Like if I don't know if you remember the old movie Beat Street, but it was a guy on it named Spit, and every time they would have a brand new beautiful train to come by, white train, and then it would get tagged. Spit would creep down at night in the boneyard, as they call it, for the Iron Horse, and he would spray spit over top of the new graffiti painting. So we were talking about that yesterday. He was like, man, I really love that. All these years later, he was like, you're an old man now, Tio, like me. You're an old man. So, to see you still doing what you love, man, the hip hop piece. I was like, man, that really touched my heart. See what it did, man.
What you may not know about me, I used to be a break dancer.
Wow, bro, that's crazy. Seriously?
Yeah. And we used to, it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
We used to wear the dungaree jackets with our logos in the back, right? And we used to break dance against another crew.
Mm-hmm.
We did it differently. And it was not right. It was terrible. And if we had a dance off, right? And whoever won, the other crew, you would have to give up your jacket.
Oh, that's big though. That's big.
Wait. We were dumb. I'm going to tell you why. Because we started fights in a bad way. We would take the other crew's jacket and burn it.
Oh man. It goes back to Star Wars. It's still Star Wars because that's another element. Not to cut you off, Sifu, but we're talking about something that, man, I love sincerely. You hear me? Like hip hop is it. And man, when I tell you, you've seen the movie Warriors come out. Play. Like that. That's what I'm saying, Sifu. If
Look, wants to break dance with me.
Yeah. Hey, we need to make that happen. Shout out to Emilio, bro. Hey, I'm telling you, to give up the jacket, bro. Because think about it. Whatever y'all had on the back, man, that's like a tattoo. That's like near and dear. You know what I'm saying? So to have to give that up, man, and that's another element of Star Wars, man. The
Yeah.
breaking. You can't see, a lot of people don't understand what hip hop is. And Sifu, you know how we do, man. We get together and God start moving, and just there's always an emphasis on God getting the glory anytime we express one another how we feel. But we're here to talk about this morning the discipline of restraint.
Oof.
And thinking about what we're talking about right now, bro.
That's
It's
it right
just
there.
naturally, it takes discipline as a breakdancing crew to roll up to the Roxy or whatever, to the spot, knowing our arch nemesis, our arch rivals from the Bronx or from Queens or from Staten Island, Long Island, even over the water, Jersey, Weehawken, Hoboken, wherever they from, New Rochelle. Hey, the battle is on. Now everything's cool. Music playing, women, everybody's happy.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, going back to that movie Warriors, like the Warriors had to get all the way back out, to Coney Island from the Bronx. Like, yo, like, oh man, we can talk about that for hours, but the discipline of restraint, and it's exciting.
I gotta tell you, I grew up in the neighborhood where there were 7 and 8-year-old kids spinning records, man, because their
Yeah,
brothers was spinning. 6, 7, 8-year-old kids spinning, and we were
yeah,
what? These kids were incredible. And
yeah,
then I was in school with a kid who was there writing and writing and writing. I'm like,
no
what are you
doubt.
writing? And then he started just rapping what he was writing.
Started
I was like,
spitting. That's it.
whoa, it
Yeah,
is
man.
hot. And this is
Yeah,
during class, man. This is in 6th grade, right? And I'm like,
damn.
holy cow. And so I was there in the beginning when people were understanding that the words that we write can
Hmm.
be rapped, they can become a song, they can become a movement. And it
Yeah,
was
bro.
so beautiful to be part of it, to see it, and to be with people who really saw a movement that was coming through. Listen, I've been in situations where Kid and Play used to come and hang out at one of the clubs I used to
Yeah,
work,
you
right?
told me you know those cats. Yeah,
So,
Christopher, both Christophers. Yeah,
but here's the thing, right? They used to come in. They were chill. It wasn't like somebody was like, "Oh my God!" Nobody was hounding them. They were there. They were relaxed. They were left alone, right? Because it was a nightclub. I was one of the bouncers there, and so it was cool. And so many different people that came through. But for me, music has been such an integral part to me that I
yeah,
my body just moves, man. So when we talk about the discipline of restraint, and I love that you came up with this idea, because sometimes we have to curb what we want to say and
indeed,
just give
indeed.
it time to understand ourselves even before we say what we want to say. Because a lot of times in the heat of the action, we just want to blurt something out. But
Indeed.
when we can restrain ourselves, that's true leadership. When we can say, let me hold my thoughts for a minute. Let me understand what you just said before I say something or do something, right?
Yeah,
Coach Teal, you understood restraint from so many different levels, not only from your superiors, but
yeah.
you saw it from people that were below you, because they had to show restraint. They couldn't just blurt out what
Oh
they
man.
did, right?
Yeah,
And you
bro.
couldn't do it either, right? So
Wow.
it went both ways.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm so grateful you. I'm so grateful you thought of that. the simple thought of, you know, the people underneath me had to have a certain type of restraint. And we all feel it. We all know it as leaders. We know. I knew, not at the highest rank of E9 Sergeant Major. I knew it at a very young age. And you know, knowing that if I'm an E2, the E1 has to listen to what I say to do, Sifu. If I'm an E3, the E2 has to listen, and so on. You know, it goes all the way up. So by the time you get to E9, now you got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all has to listen and do whatever the heck you say type thing, right? But it's special that you said that, because there's something special about the mastery of understanding the restraint. Like it's very important, bro. Like when I say important, I felt it. You know, like sometimes you get that feeling in your belly, or as they would say, the fire in your stomach or whatever. I felt many times, man, when something specific, that subordinate was literally restraining from saying to me what the hell they wanted to really say. Like straight up and down. Even when they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong, Sifu. I'm in the office and I just got wind of it. I just heard about it. And I'm saying, hey, go get them and bring them up here. You know, next thing you know, they're coming in. Good morning, such and such, reporting his order. You know, I could either keep them at attention and talk to them to where we know that's kind of like a, if you got to stand in, yeah, I mean, come on, you're a martial arts, you know, expert. So you know what I mean, because you all do the same thing. There's so many tactics that cross-pollinate between military and martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I just love that you brought that up, man. That, because I didn't think about that. Even in the lesson plan, because it's that serious, see, for us. We use lesson plans. We're not just free willing it right now. Like it's, you know, I go through a Rolodex of like, okay, in real time, like it's not fake, it's not scripted on no level. So I knew, man, we have to have this discussion, brother. You know, the discipline of restraint, and who better to have that than with you? Because, bro, like, and we've touched on it a little bit in one of our earlier shows, the discipline of restraint. Man, you could line up 100 men, all coming off the A train at the same time, and you're up on the street level. And you know you got to fight every one of them, Sifu. One by one, as they come up, they run up on you. No words even given, just you all are in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know you have to have a certain level of restraint, because you could kill them. You know. So it says in martial arts and leadership, forcing outcomes creates resistance. Forcing outcomes creates resistance. Timing, awareness, and control create results. What do you think about that, brother?
Without a doubt, when you restrained the effort, the strength, the power that we can put out, you're giving a chance to someone to think about it. And in martial arts, if I give you all that I have, what else will I have after? So even when I teach, I can't teach you the advanced moves. I want to. I desperately want to. But the reason I restrain them from you is because you're not ready for them. You're not ready for that move. You're not ready for that concept. You don't understand why or even how to maneuver. And the same thing goes for the reason there's rank in the military. A lot of times, people don't understand the difference between the different ranks. They just go, oh, well, he's just the big guy. He's the big shot. And there's a reason that he's the big shot. There's a reason that he understands something deeper than you would ever understand, is because he's gone through it all. He understands. And one of the most important questions that we have to ask is why?
Mm.
Why are we doing this? And we, the why is going to lead to the how. Why are we doing this, and how are we going to accomplish it? Because a lot of times people will question a command, but they don't know why. They'll get mad. They won't understand, but they're not seeing the big picture. And sometimes when we are in a situation, we can't see the big picture. So that's why somebody outside can see the big picture. And so we sometimes have to do something based on, are you ready for this? Faith. Faith that the person in command knows better than we do, that they've seen every possibility. So in a fight, and I've fought UFC fighters who are friends of mine. I've been in rings. I've been in cages. I've been in everywhere. And you saw some of the pictures of some of the cool people I've hung out with. Right?
Yes,
and,
yes.
And you saw my hair all messy, and I'm there. But when you're in it, you have to sometimes give something up in order to achieve something more, something greater. And if you don't know how to restrain yourself from giving it all up, you won't succeed. So sometimes, yeah, listen, when we may lose a battle,
Yeah.
but the battle was lost on purpose so we can gain advantage on the war. And the real deal is to win the war.
That's it, bro. The real deal is to win the war. It's the truth, man. It's that's in everyday life. We right now together are still unifying to ultimately win the war, Sifu.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. We deal with battles all the time, every single day. It's the inevitable. We're going to deal with the battles. But the restraint comes in the form of the discipline of the mastery to keep focused on winning the war. You said a key word, man. It just kind of, man, it kind of went through my body for a second, brother. You said you went in cages. Like, as soon as you said that, dog, like, I looked at your face again on this screen, and I said, he is telling the truth. He has walked in cages, man. Like, that's just intimidating by itself. Like, I'm saying that honest God truth. Like, bro, I've never walked up in a cage to fight another human being. How does that feel, bro? How does that feel? Is it different than just say a regular ring without the cage? These different styles of fighting, where you're fighting, because there's a reason why I'm looking at my son's PlayStation 5. There's a reason why You know, Mortal Kombat has all these different scenes, different scenery in which where they fight. So I guess the question I'm asking you, brother, is going in a cage, fighting in a regular ring, fighting on the dojo mat, fighting an MMA guy versus a guy you just know from down the street. What's the difference going on in your mind? Because if you have the discipline of restraint, it should be the same. Or am I off target on it?
Here's the good news, right? Everyone I ever fought in a cage was my friend.
Okay.
And so the restraint had to be there because I didn't want to hurt my friend.
Mhm.
And sometimes they forgot we were friends
Mhm.
and they went for it. But my heart was there. And the difference that I realize is that going into a cage, there is restraint. There
Yeah.
is a reality that this fight is going to be over. But in real life, you don't know when that fight's going to be over. The goal is to eliminate the threat immediately. And that's real, right? In a real life situation, you have to eliminate the threat as fast as and as easiest as you possibly can. And tactically, right? In a in a cage, in a ring, on a mat, you can mess around a little bit. You can tease them, if you will. You can
Yeah.
give them something. But in a real life situation, we don't give away that much because you don't know if you'll even get that back. So in a real life situation, it's way different than getting in a ring or anything. I love what Mike Tyson said. Everybody wants to be a fighter until they get punched in the face. Well, let me tell
Wow.
you, I've been punched everywhere.
Wow.
The only
Yeah.
thing that I can tell you for certain is I've never been knocked out. Now, that doesn't mean I can't get knocked out. It just means that I don't like getting hit in the head. So I
Shit.
definitely know how to protect my head. And don't get me wrong, maybe I didn't fight the right person yet who could knock me out. And somebody out there is saying, "Yeah, I can knock him out." And you're probably right. You can knock me out. But
Yeah.
guess what? I'm not looking to get into a fight to get knocked out. So if I'm going to fight with somebody, it's because we both mutually know we're not looking to knock each other out. I'm not going to fight in the UFC, even though I fought some guys in the UFC because they're friends of mine. It was a friendly match, right? It wasn't something where they were going to get paid. I was going to get paid. None of that. It was just for fun, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just practice. We're going to practice this move. We're going to do this, the other. And a lot of times, believe it or not, I fought with a guy and I teased him and I said, "I'm going to allow you to try to choke me out." And I actually gave him my neck. And I said, "I'm going to teach you how to get out of it every single time." And he did his best. Strong guy, couldn't choke me out. And don't get me wrong, he was learning how to choke somebody out. And I was teaching him how, right? And the concept was I had to restrain myself from hurting him in the process, right? So, did he almost tap me out? Absolutely. Did he do a good job? Absolutely. Did I find a weakness? Yes. And so for me, it was me teaching him how to close the gap in the weakness that he had.
Mm.
And so for a whole hour, he was exhausted because I was calm and collected, and he was trying his best to choke me out. So he got tired.
Oh
I was
yeah.
just relaxed.
Yeah.
And so for him, it was a great lesson in how to understand the different concepts, how to go from one move to the other. Because I let him try to choke me out in every possible move, and I showed him all the different escapes from it. And for me, it wasn't an ego thing. It was a teaching moment.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because and I say this to everybody, if you ever see my ego, do me a favor, punch it in the face, right?
Yeah.
Punch it straight in the face, because when you bring your ego into a fight, you're going to lose, right? When you bring your ego into a commanding situation, I believe you're going to lose. Now, there's good leaders and there's what? Bad leaders. And I'm sure you've seen that personally in the
Yeah.
military. You will see somebody who everybody will respect 1,000%. And then you'll see a leader that people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to get away from him because he's a horrible leader. He treats us badly or this and that. So it's about, as a leader, when you command, you have to command in the way that sometimes you have to restrain what you're giving in order for the lessons to be learned.
Yeah. It's powerful, Sifu. I thank you for sharing. Thank you, like 100% for sharing that from that perspective. Because again, man, it's like life. You know, the someone is in a spiritual fight right now. They may not be in the physical fight, but they're being choked out in the spiritual fight.
That's right.
You know, they're being choked out in the financial fight. They're being choked out in the relationship fight. We can keep naming them, Sifu, as we both know. But you kept saying it. Like, I was showing him different ways in how to get out of that. You know, whether it's tuck the chin. I know that's what we're taught as Marines. Tuck the chin. You know what I'm saying? If your chin ain't tucked, and they get up under there and get to that, you know,
The
carotid, yeah, they get to that, it's over, bro. You might last a few seconds depending on how long you could hold it, but yeah, man. But it's the same thing. To you all out there, you know, that's going to see this, going to hear this. You have to get out. You can't just tap out. I mean, if you do, there's a lot of conversation about people who take their lives and how others feel when it happens. How we particularly feel about the act of the situation when it happens.
Right.
Yeah, it could be really tough. But just know that with discipline and restraint of reacting in a way that, let's just say it, can cost you. And in so many different, you know, ways to say it. Like, we've all experienced it. We've all done it. There's no man, there's no woman out there that hasn't, you know, done it. So you said in terms of, you know, commanding ship, I would say, Sifu, yes, I've seen a lot of bad leaders. I've seen good leaders. I've seen good leaders turn to bad leaders. I've seen some not so great leaders turn into
Incredible leaders.
incredible, outstanding leaders. They didn't give up. They continued to chip away. They wanted to be better. They didn't want to operate based off of ego. They didn't want to operate based off of control. They didn't want to operate based off, Sifu, of forcing growth versus allowing it. I'll say that one again, man. You can't force growth, particularly with the individuals that you're working with, that you're dealing with. I get it, man. You got so many different coaching gurus out there today. You got, you know, everybody has their one person that, you know, if I was an MMA fighter, I would want to train with Anderson Silva. That's who I would want to train with, bro. Or Vitor Belfort. I like them too. I wouldn't necessarily want to train with Tank Abbott. I like him. He's entertaining. I like watching him. Like, man, this big guy coming up with his belly out. You know, I like watching him, but I wouldn't personally want to train with him, Sifu. I would want to train with you because I see your demeanor. I see how you conduct yourself outside of the cage, outside of the ring. Now, once you get in that ring and that bell literally rings, it's on. So, but I'm saying these things based on the leadership aspect of the discipline of restraint.
Oh, yeah.
Sifu, the discipline of restraint. Like, I believe Anderson Silva can help me. You know, the spider, the way how he moves, and you know, I might have to have an interpreter or whatnot because I can't understand when a lot of times when he's talking. But I love his style of fighting too. His style of fighting to me is free, and that's another reason why I like Vitor.
John Jones, Bones,
Yeah,
man.
John Jones, same thing. But outside of the ring, I feel like John Jones and I wouldn't mesh.
Well,
Outside of the ring.
When I met him, he looked at me. He goes, "I'll fight you." I said, "I'm ready now." He's like, "No, I'm kidding."
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we would match. We might. I would give it a shot, not based off of his money or accolade, but John Jones seems. He seems like I'm not saying today. I'm just saying over time, what I've seen, he seems immature to me. Decisions that he's made outside of that ring, very immature.
Yeah, well, agreed.
And that's just me. I think he would agree with it. I think he would be like, "Hey, man, these two guys, you know, they're warriors. This guy served in the Marines for 2 decades. This guy been teaching and masterful in martial arts. They're real warriors. They are qualified to speak on discipline. They're qualified to speak on what it takes as a leader to sustain longevity of that." Because, like I said, I've seen some great leaders overnight. Most horrible leader in the United States, bro. And then you start to see all the other things lined up that we didn't see. Yeah. We didn't see, which I'd like to segue to that, Sifu. We're 32 minutes in. Strongest leaders in the room are usually the calmest. Do you agree with that comment? The strongest leaders in the room are usually the calmest. Do you agree with it? Yes or no?
1,000%.
And expound.
1,000%. I think when you allow your emotions to get into leadership, especially if it gets heated, and you allow your emotions to get involved, you lose the capability of reacting properly. For example, somebody who gets angry easily, they don't see the bigger picture. They only see the minor little things. They don't see the major things. So when somebody looks at me and my demeanor and the fact that nobody has seen me angry for decades, they're like, "What is wrong with you? How come you don't get mad? Somebody did you wrong. Somebody did this." I'm like, more power to them, right? If they think they're going to get over on me, good for them. And when I've seen leaders who are calm and collected, it means that they control the most important thing in the world. That's themselves. Yeah, a great leader needs to command themselves first. When you lose command of yourself, how can you command anyone else? For me as a leader, I need to be able to pull back. I may not be happy with what's happening, but if I let anger judge my thinking, for it to be cloudy, how can I lead? I can't.
Yeah.
And so I've seen it in both instances. I've seen great leaders lose it and command terribly, terribly, because they saw red. And all they can see is this negativity. They're like this. And I've also seen great leaders who should have been like, they were calm, collected. And what they did next amplified who they were. Amplified. So if you want to amplify your leadership style, take the emotion out of it. I'll say that again. If you want to amplify your leadership style, take the emotion out of it. If I get into a ring and I'm fighting with somebody, and maybe we're friendly, and that guy hits me really hard, and I get mad and I hit him hard, and then he hits me hard. Now all of a sudden we're not friendly anymore. Now we're just trying to kill each other. And we lost respect for one another.
That's powerful, bro.
I don't want to do that.
That is so powerful, bro. Like man, you in your bag this morning, Sifu, Rafael. You in your bag this morning, bro. This Friday. Many people over the weekend, yeah, they're gonna be out, hanging out, kicking it, doing whatever they do, man, this weekend. And I hope they hear some of this. I know it's hard to listen for a whole hour because I really had to lock in and ask myself, do I go and listen to shows for a whole hour? If it's good,
yeah.
If it keeps me for an hour, because you and I both are very busy, brother, and we've been replacing that word busy with productive. We're very productive, right? In a positive way. And 1 hour of time in the 24-hour stretch is very important. When you start thinking about the sleep, when you start thinking about working out, you start thinking about, the meals that you consume or the meal you consume in a day, whichever floats your boat. But that 1 hour is very important. And I pray that someone hears this today and can really feel how I feel hearing you speak on it, Sifu. You speaking on it is like medicine, bro. Like it's real stinking medicine. And medicine sometimes stinks. Like it stinks, bro. But it still makes you feel good. Then it's the same with this. Some people don't want to hear this. Shout out to LS Kirkpatrick in the chat, man. I love LS.
Yeah.
LS, we love you. Like all jokes aside. If you're out there, you're still listening, we love you. These topics that we're building on every Friday at 8:30. Trust me, some people you're gonna miss it, and it's gonna take you to go back and really listen and coincide it in your brain housing group that man Seafood knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to discipline and real restraint. Because that man's hands are lethal. His hands are really lethal. You brought up Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson's hands are lethal. Yours are too, Sifu Rafael. Yours are too. You get killed instantly. And you've trained for many years to be able to do that at a very high level. And that's why I wanted to do unified leadership. One, because this guy that packs all of this ferocious, this warrior, hard. I can keep naming these different attributes that I know you have, bro. And I saw it on display on the walls inside of the dojo. But man, this is one of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my entire life. Like, bro, like this man hugs you and it is a real hug. It's not one of these, hey man, what's up, man? You know, man, this man hugs you, man, with purpose, with real love.
Mm.
And I stress it every day. Love, intellect, greatness, health, and truth is the light that we have within us. Brother, your light shines in ways that some people get mad at you, Sifu. Some people, man, Sifu calling me, asking me about being here, being there, being there, being here. I've heard it.
Mm.
But the beauty is this though. Bro, you have to respect the pursuit of excellence. Some people don't. Some people don't look at it from that standpoint of like, man, it takes. It's almost it's not like you're asking for some of us or different people to come to a rodeo down in Texas that only has one bull and two cowboys. Like,
You're right.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You're asking to be a part of something that is going to develop, is going to help us, it's going to help our growth to move forward. And like I just said, man, the growth aspect of it. Many leaders are forcing growth instead of allowing it. What do I feel when I hear that statement? Forcing growth. I've done it, Sifu. I've been sent to the worst command, the worst unit, knowing that it's the worst command, it's the worst unit, Sifu. And hey, Clay, you're gonna go and clean it up. You're gonna go fix it. Who better? Like literally from the boss himself, the man telling me you're going to fix it. It's sort of like the old movie, The Bad News Bears type thing. And I experienced that same level of, man, I just felt that in my spirit, bro. Because that's a trigger for me, man. My eyes just watered too. My eyes watered because it's a trigger for me, bro.
Mm.
That trigger is I felt like I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I felt Sifu like, why do I have to go fix what someone else had the opportunity to fix but chose not to?
Oh yeah.
But what I learned through that journey of that leadership aspect, it was what God was preparing me for all along, bro. He was preparing me that, hey man, you're going to experience this, I believe, for the rest of my life. I'm experiencing it today in my marriage, with my children, friendships. I'm still always going to find that silver lining, Sifu, as a leader, knowing that, you know what, we got to talk about the hard stuff. Because the hard stuff is what helps us to grow. The hard stuff is what's transparent enough for as a leader, our subordinates not to be hurt, for our subordinates not to lose trust in us, for our spouses, our fiancés, our girlfriends to understand that we really do love them, even though sometimes what comes out of here can be harsh.
Right.
So, yeah, discipline or restraint, man. It could go in so many different directions, but I love the way you've explained it in a way of the visual. I could see the visual of the discipline of restraint, knowing when to act, when not to act, knowing when to strike, when not to strike, knowing when to take it to the ground versus stand up on the feet.
That's right.
You know, it's all when winning the war. It's still all within winning the war. Like, I want to win this fight for whatever that fight may be. And as a leader, we're dealing with fights and putting out fires all the time. As if you're a real leader and everything is cushy, peachy cream, and you just sitting in the office staring at the walls, phone not ringing, nothing's going on, you're probably missing some things. We would all probably like it to be that way. And if everybody underneath you is doing what needs to be done properly, but great leaders, man, still want to be out there on the ground, picking up trash, doing whatever it is,
Whatever it takes.
whatever it takes. And there's restraint in that because you don't want to overshadow your subordinates that's in charge.
Mhm.
If I'm an E9, I can't overshadow the E7. The E7 is there with them every single day. And if I'm there every single day as an E9 jumping in, pulling my cape out, now they're confused. They're like, don't you have a job over there, sir? Or we're good with him. So, man, it's so much to unpack with it. It's a
I
lot to
love what
unpack.
you're talking about. That I am asking people to come and do something out of their
Yeah,
comfort, right? To
that's it.
leave their homes and come to an event, to do something that will impact so many people. You and I are putting together an event March 13th through the 15th. And let me just share
Yes.
this quickly. It's a really quick reel. Take a look at it.
Let's move.
Let's lead. Let's ride.
Unified leadership.
Light that flame, turn it up loud. Remember the
Unified
name.
leadership.
Power and pride. We don't just talk, we testify.
Unified leadership.
Heart and grind, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, croppers and rhythm, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, crowd on sway. Kosher clay, truth and play. Sifu, Rafael, calm control, leaders in sync. Hearts of gold, focus sharp, the mission clear. Every step forward, silence the fear.
Boom. There's more coming. There's more coming. But just to give you an idea, right? We're creating an event. It's not a typical type of event. It's an actual workshop where I'm already talking to some leaders who are looking to come in and they're going to impact you in a way that you don't leave and go, okay, next. You leave with saying, what's next? Not next, but what's next? What am I doing? How am I doing it? Wow. And so there's going to be follow-up after our event. It's not a one and done type of event. There's going to be workbooks. You're going to be working in a workbook. You're going to take that home. You're going to continue following up. You're going to have meetings after the meetings. After those days are done, 5 days later, 7 days later, 12 days later, where you're going to be meeting with some of the presenters who are going to present to you these workbooks that you can not only take home, but write in, but also to do the work. Because a lot of times people don't want to do the work. And then they ask the question, how come he or she has so much? I want to be how they are, but we're not willing to do the work.
Right.
Do the work. We're going to show you how to do the work. We're going to give you step-by-step guidance. And it doesn't matter if you've been a leader for 20 years, 10 years, or you're just starting out. You need to come to our event in New York, Farmingdale, New York, and then we're going to go to New York City. We're going to have a meeting after the meeting. We're going to have some fun. But also we're going to be doing work. You're going to be learning things that will impact your leadership style for real.
Yeah, man.
Not this hype, not this nonsense. Things that you can reach out to us. You can reach out to Coach Tio, ask him questions. You can reach out to me, ask me questions. And the other presenters that are going to be in the room, that are going to present part of the workbooks that they have formulated, and they will explain it. We're going to have a mastermind. We're going to have all these fun things. Who needs to be there? It's so simple. If you want to join us, I'm going to put it across the screen. It's going on right here. And it's simple. Go to sifurafael.com/unified. Down the line, we're going to have our own unifiedleadership.com website, but that's on the works, right? And what do you say, Coach Tio? You think we should definitely do that, right? That's something that we need to put together.
I agree, man. Shout out to Zarada Morales. So I was calling her Zarada. I think she says Zarada, maybe.
Zoraya.
Z. It's a writer. Yeah, it's a writer Morales, man. Man, we had a virtual connect yesterday, man. You know, and we wasn't drinking coffee, so I don't call it coffee. We had a virtual connect, man, and you know, she's from New York originally. And man, I tell you, man, 2 hours in, bro. Like, man, God moved in that conversation, bro. Like he really moved. It's the first time I've ever talked to her personally. First time she's ever talked to me personally.
Right.
Man, when we got to chopping about, you know, just you know what she experienced. You know, 13 years, you know, fighting, you know, the cancer with the chemo and all that good stuff, man. Like, dog, you can't make those up. That wasn't about sales, bro. It wasn't about marketing. It was about two people that could look at each other on the screen for the first time, heard of each other, kind of saw pictures of each other and different flyers of each other, and been in the same space. Shout out to Dr. Brian Arnold that I met in Farmingdale for the NYC experience. You know, a lot of people moving in the same spaces is basically what I'm saying. And talking with her yesterday, I said, man, you need to come on Unified Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Sifu and I sitting with you for 1 hour on Unified Leadership is what we know people need. It's what they need to hear. And again, like I told her, I said, it's not all about you though. You know, it ain't all about you. It's about a collective effort for us to continue to take this leadership thing to another level. And you know, like I told her, hey, you come to New York, come to Farmingdale. I mean, her papers are still in the Bronx and all that, but she was like, do you know how it feels to you to be at home and to be around people of like-mindedness?
Oh yeah.
And have the opportunities to do the things that it's almost like a full circle moment. I said, same for me. I said, sitting in a glass, yeah, you know, panned out room, Sifu over on the far right, and I'm looking at Madison Square Garden. I'm like, man, I said, I know you haven't read my book, but man, it's a real full circle moment. Like,
For those
I
of you
don't.
who haven't read this book, you got to pick it up, right?
Ah, yes, sir, bro.
Pick it
Like
up, right?
that book right there explains why that moment meant so much. Ah, man, like it meant so much, bro. It wasn't about money.
No.
It wasn't about, you know, the plane ticket cost, where we was going to lay our head that night. Like, I'm a warrior. I figure it out, bro. Like, I'm a real warrior. Like, straight up and down. If I don't have anything else to say true, is I know I'm a warrior, and I'm gonna find a way. You know, the one thing I was lacking as a leader was the freedom of time and space in the military. That was difficult because I knew 100% I have to be here.
You have no choice.
I have no choice. And I knew other things that I wanted to reach out and grasp, I could not. And that was hard, bro. And I think that's what a lot of,
right there, man.
yeah, a lot of individuals struggle with that. And I struggled with it. You know, transition coming out of the military. I struggled with not missing the military. I didn't miss it like that.
Right.
I just didn't. For me, it was like, bro, like, if you knew what I went through before I even joined the Marine Corps, shout out to Robbie Lytle. Peace, fam. I see you.
Peace, brother. Yeah, Robert, love this guy.
Yes. If you knew what I experienced and what I went through, you would understand that the Marine Corps couldn't be the zenith for me, Sifu. It's not possible.
No.
The Marine Corps could not be the zenith for me. If you knew what I've been through. That's what they say, man. Never judge somebody you don't know what they've been through. I That's why me and Robbie Lytle are so close, because I know what he's been through. You know what I'm saying? And now today, you know, we're all collectively together. So, man, I promise you, Sifu, man, I love you. And as Big Mo always says, there ain't nothing you can do about it, dog. Like, I don't care, bro. There ain't nothing you can do about it, because I've experienced things with you along this path, along this journey, that I knew you was the warrior. I also knew you was a good-hearted man. I also knew that you meant well. I also knew that, yo, you'd give the shirt off your back to help me, bro. That's real leadership. A lot of people talk it, but they don't really know how to live it.
Not at all.
And living it sometimes is just the restraint, the discipline of the restraint.
I'm not going to restrain right now because I think we need Robert Lidl with us.
Lytle, yeah.
Lytle, sorry about that. But
Yes,
we
sir.
need him in Farmingdale come March 13th through 15th. If there's
Yeah.
a way you can find your way there, brother, we would love to have you, because what you can impact, or the way you can impact the people who are going to be in the room with us, would be truly powerful.
Yeah, Lytle's special, bro.
Lytle.
Lytle's a special dude, man. Like, Lytle. I'm just grateful, man, that I know you fellas. And that's to cap this thing off, man. In this last closing 4 minutes, Seafood. 2 of those minutes out of those 4, I have to say, man, like, I'm very grateful that when I said it out loud, I knew it was the truth. And that was, I know some of the best leaders in the entire world. Leaders, like I know leaders. It wasn't based off of the accolade. You know, I have this right here on the wall. I'm down here in my basement, bro. This is an accolade for me. This is my daughter's bachelor's degree.
Nice.
You know, she's got a master's now. But it's like she ain't even, she left it here because she knows what it means to me.
Nice.
She didn't take it and put it up in her spot. She left it here because she knew what it means to me, as well as what it means to them 2 young boys that come down here and play in this space all the time. You see the little Nerf goal, and we got the Pac-Man games and all of that. This is their space. This is my son's space. But this is on the wall here as that example. And all I'm saying, Sifu, is it's not about those things for me. It's about she listened. She listened over the years to lead up to this. Just like Robbie Lytle. Robbie Lytle listened to his pops. He listened to him, man. He listened to those great leaders along the journey. You listen. You're a master in martial arts. You told me about him. How he got the best discipline out of you before you could even realize what he did. So, man, I tell you, man, I love you. The discipline of restraint is real, bro. Like, every one of us have to do it. Every one of us have to recognize it in order to continue to be effective. So, closing thoughts, brother. How you feel?
I think that we need to restrain ourselves from fixing other people all the time, because leadership is allowing someone to fail so that they understand what failure feels like, and then help them pick up the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't pick up all the pieces. We pick up the ones that they don't see.
That's right.
Because sometimes we don't listen. If I was playing with my Legos and I dropped all the pieces, right? Not that I play with Legos, but I see kids drop the piece, and then there's like they put it all together, and there's one piece missing. They're like, oh, where did it go? Where did it go? And you see it, and you're waiting for them to find it, and they cannot find it. Why? Because it's sitting in front of them.
Right.
So then you go, is this
That's
what
awesome.
you're looking for? And they're like, yes, yes, thank you so much. And so a lot of times it's that restraint that we have to have is give them the space to fix their own mistakes. And that's what a great leader does. It doesn't fix the mistakes, all of the mistakes, because they will never learn.
That's right.
So as a leader myself, I'm teaching other leaders how to be leaders. And I see they want to fix them. They want to fix them. They want to fix them. I say, stop. And I grab them and I pull them over and I go, sit here with me. I said, and watch them. I said, you see the mistake they just made? Yeah. Don't fix it. But I want to. I said, don't. I said, how are they going to learn? And then you can ask them questions. And the question I ask people is, are you happy with what you just did? Or are you happy with the outcome? And they're like, they think about it. Well, a lot of times they'll be so cocky, if you will. Yeah. And then I'll go, are you sure? So we have to question when somebody thinks they're too good for something. Because I make 1,000 mistakes.
Yeah.
And if you told me every time I made a mistake, I don't want to be around you anymore. I want to figure it out for myself. And if you point out certain mistakes that I couldn't figure out for myself, then I am so grateful to you. So
That's
be
right.
that leader. Be the leader that allows someone to make the mistakes. Have the discipline to have the restraint to fix everything. That's my final thought for you guys today.
Yeah, bro. Shit, man. It's a pleasure, man. Now all of these cats want to show up when we about to ride out.
It's
I
okay.
see y'all out there. Yeah.
Here's what we
see
have
y'all.
to do, right? Watch the replay.
Yeah,
There's
man.
so many key points that we both shared on here that you can overlook it, but if you listen carefully, and sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do something and I'm going to listen, but because you're so occupied in something else, you miss something. So sometimes it's just, we need to take the time to truly listen. And it's okay if you're on a bike and you're doing something like that, and it will impact you. And some of the times that you actually, a lot of times, get a pen and paper, my friends, because
bro.
notes is something you can go back to. And if you need to watch this more than once, I encourage it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
So
Do it.
thank you, my brother. I love you so much. And
me too, man.
I cannot wait for us to impact so many people in March 13th through
bro.
the 15th in Farmingdale, New York. And then we're going to go to the big city. We're going to go to New York City, and we're going to experience some areas that are really, really powerful, where the biggest thinkers in the world have gone and made a difference in other people's lives. So thank you for today.
Wow, bro. Wow. Appreciate you.
God bless everybody. Take care. Coach, hang on a sec.
Unify leadership. Let's move.
Let's lead. Let's ride.
Unify leadership.
Light the flame, turn it up loud. Remember the name.
Unify leadership.